We're back, and we
You don't
have
say.
we have glasses of alcoholic beverages along with some water at the table, so that's good. And it makes me realize. So my family considers me pretentious because anytime we have a beer in the house, I require that you pour it into a glass.
Absolutely.
So I am curious. I feel like you probably got this question a bunch, but
Yeah.
what's the right way
That's a great question.
to drink beer according to Hugh and Caroline?
Well, first off, you always put it in a glass.
So I'm right?
You're right.
Absolutely.
I can go home and say I'm right.
And when you pour it right down the goddamn middle of the glass. None of this candy ass down the side crap. Hell no. Right down the middle of the glass.
And you let it overflow all around you?
You prefer not to spill it. But
Okay.
but having said that,
Down the
patience
middle.
is a virtue. You want to release the CO2, which is a flavor mask. You want to release the aromas because when you're spending $12 a six pack on quality beer, if you drink it out of the bottle or drink it out of the can, you've cut your nose out of the equation. And your sense of smell is where about 80% of your ability to determine flavor comes from.
Okay.
So if it's in a glass and you've allowed it to sort of volatilize, you're releasing all the crap you just paid for. So yeah, put it in a goddamn glass.
So glad I got the passion of Hugh about how to drink it. That makes total sense to me.
Right.
And even I would say canned beer too, and cans obviously are
Yeah.
the worst.
The worst.
I don't say the worst because we sell.
No. But pour your canned beer in a
If
glass.
you have the
Okay,
option
I was-
to
good, I was
pour
gonna ask
even
I
from
mean,
a can
I
in a
realize
glass.
that there are times when you're drinking canned beer for a reason. You're on the golf course or you're on a sailboat or whatever, and maybe that's not conducive to a glass.
Yep.
But
Right.
for God's sake, get yourself somewhere where you can pour it in a goddamn glass.
Can we pour it in a solo cup? Does that work?
That works.
Solo cup works fine.
All right.
Oh man. Okay, that's good.
Well, I was just thinking about being out on the boat and stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
I get
Plastic cups are fine.
Yeah.
All right, what should we try first?
it. What'd you pour?
I poured.
I
let's
wouldn't
go
drink
with-
after me, although it is allergies. Let's just be on the safe side.
You want to try that?
I already did, and it's amazing.
It's
So
amazing.
this is
Well,
the cherry limeade,
That's the cherry limeade. So
and the cherry limeade is wonderful.
yeah, last year we introduced a
Like,
line of
it's
crafted
just-
cocktails as part of our portfolio. We currently have 4 flavors out. So you're drinking the cherry limeade.
Yep.
We also have an orange crush, which obviously is a big popular drink in Maryland. So we had
Yep.
to.
Okay.
A watermelon crush and then a strawberry lemonade. So they're all 7.5% ABV, made with real vodka, natural ingredients. I think they turned out very, very well.
And you're
I'm
distilling the vodka here.
No.
No.
No. We're looking into doing that. So you have to have a distiller's permit to handle spirits.
Oh, to
So-
even handle it.
Yes, because you pay the taxes differently, and it's a different license. So
Okay.
I'm looking into doing that. This is probably when you see 98% of these things that are on the market, they're sourcing
Yeah.
grain neutral spirits, and then you're doing the blending.
Yep.
So
Got it.
it's pretty typical.
Which
Very
one's
cool.
this one?
That's the Orange Crush.
That's orange
That's
crush,
right. All right,
yeah.
I'm gonna
So
try
we have, 2 other flavors plus that one. And that, I mean, to me, it tastes like an orange crush.
Yeah.
Orange crush in a can.
I have not tried any of your.
Do you
mixed-
guys want?
So those are out now. Yeah, we're excited about them. I think it'll be great for the spring and the summertime when
How passionate are you about drinking those out of a glass?
The same argument applies, is that the aromatics are key. 90% of these are going to be consumed by people out of a can on a beach.
Side of the pool, on the beach.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, and that's why you see almost none of those are not produced in cans.
Okay.
You know, I would love to run them on my bottling line. My bottling line is much more efficient than my canning line.
I can see that you got some mixed feelings about the can.
I'm old enough that I still prefer my beer out of a
Yeah.
bottle than a can.
But going
There
back to
are
that,
pluses and minuses.
Yeah.
yeah, the generational thing too, and just what the market's telling us. I mean, I'm 33. I prefer can.
Yep.
So
Yeah, I feel like we had this
Yeah, I
conversation.
feel like I
we had to
prefer-
be able to provide, both packaging
Right.
formats.
Right. Because we talked earlier before we were recording just
Mm-hmm.
about that tension, that good tension you're probably never going to get rid of what you as the creator
Right.
love and want, but the market's telling you another answer.
Gotta
And
listen to
and
the market.
You got to listen.
Right.
In business.
Right. The mission of business is, among other things, to stay in business. And why is that is important is because you've got folks who work here, and we want them to continue to be able to feed their families and all the rest of that stuff. So when you're running a small company, it's not just about the owners. It's about everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I take that mission very seriously.
Yep.
So
Yep. And if you're lucky, you get the market responds to what you're doing.
Yes.
And then you still get a chance to do your art
and
on the side.
but you also got to understand that the nature of small business is that things run in cycles. So when you feel like you're on top of the world, save some of the nuts for
Yeah.
the winter
yeah, that makes sense.
because it's coming.
Something's
Are you
coming.
saying maybe the can will go away someday, but the bottle never will? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, my crystal ball's been in the shop for a very long
I
time.
don't think cans are going away.
That's a good line.
I think that cans are it's just only going to increase.
I think you're probably right. Although,
You got to think about the business we're in too. We're in the alcoholic beverage industry, and alcoholic beverages are such a social, part of life. You go to a restaurant, or you're golfing, or by the pool or the beach or whatever, and so just the cans are more
Yeah.
Conducive.
conducive for those.
they go to more places.
Yeah, they go to more
I'm
places
thankful
for sure.
that my local pool has a BYOB policy that is conducive. The only thing you can't have is glass.
Right,
So I
right,
got to bring
exactly.
the cans. So all summer we're buying cans.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that
Buying-
is our Impending Doom, the one that you have in
Yeah.
your hand now. So Impending Doom's a newer series of beers for us. So it's a rotating series of double IPAs. So the one that you have in your hand right now is called Impending Doom Fuzzy Navel. It has brewed with peach
So
puree
fun.
and apricot. Yeah, it's a hazy IPA, double I should say, 9.5%. But yeah, you can smell and taste some of those.
Tis a
Yeah.
beer
The
with
peach
true
citrusy
testicular
aromas.
fortitude.
Yes. Yes. If you drink a couple of those, you're good night.
Good night.
But
That actually
very
is very
tasty.
good.
That'd be a great end to like a radio ad right there for Heavy Seas. Just you and that
oh
accent.
my gosh, don't encourage him. I'm kidding.
I have to do it with the pirate accent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brewed with true testosterone fortitude.
You're very good at that.
So that's right. You came from the theater.
I did.
right?
I did. I enjoyed it. It was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Haven't done it in 40 plus years.
That was going to be my next question. Have you exercised, flexed that muscle in any way?
No, I really haven't. I've not had the time. It's funny. I've been married to my wife now for 34 years. All of that theater stuff was before she knew me.
Interesting.
So when I have some old friends from either grad school or whatever, all that we're talking about is stuff before she had any. Every now and then she says, "I don't believe it. You never did it. I mean, you do a lot of funny crap, but you never did the theater."
I think whenever he does retire, though, you should
I,
do
I,
a play.
I will try to. The question will be, can I actually remember the lines anymore?
Yeah. I just think that would be cool to see
Very
you
fun.
on stage.
It would be fun.
If you had to pick a stage to be on, what type of theater do you like to do?
Live theater, stage.
Live theater, stage,
Yeah.
yep.
I mean, I've done a little bit of TV
Uh-huh.
and almost minuscule amount of film. They're all very different. What I always liked about being on the stage is, especially if you're doing comedy, is when you're on, you know it.
Yeah.
Because you can sense the audience is hanging on your every word.
Yep.
And it's just this enormously self-fulfilling isn't the word I'm looking for, but it's just this bump. It's like
Yeah.
being in sports.
Yep.
You make a great play and it's like, whoa, that was awesome.
Yeah, you get that shot of adrenaline.
Yeah.
The energy,
And
you
is the
feel it.
satisfaction as you come down the stage and you know you did a good job.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And everyone comes up to you after and says,
It wasn't so much that people would come up to you afterwards. It's the you did it.
Right. It's a huge accomplishment. It is.
Well, it's a connection.
Yeah.
I mean, I still
good.
do a fair amount of, although less than I used to, public speaking.
Yeah.
And I can do the same thing when I'm doing there because because you tell a story. The best thing about having the opportunity to get in front of our wholesalers and get in front of their sales teams is to tell them stories because they can relate to the story. And one of my primary missions is I'm the guy that has to go out and sell the story.
Right.
So some of this old theater background that I had has actually been incredibly useful to me
Yeah.
over the years.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I've
No.
done some stand-up stuff. in
I've
my
never
time.
done any stand-up.
Yeah.
We're having a stand-up comedian come here in July. You should come check it
Oh,
out.
yeah?
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Maybe you can get 5 minutes, man. I was at a roast with this guy.
Yeah. So our pastor,
Contributed to.
our pastor, he stepped down to go lead a bigger church somewhere else. And before he left, we roasted him, and I was one of the roasters.
Cool.
It was so amazing.
It was a very unfiltered thing.
irreverent.
It was very
and
fun.
Just fun.
Yeah, it was
Good.
very, very fun.
But I saw a side of you that night that I didn't know. I was
Yeah.
like, Ryan's getting up there to do a roast? All right.
Dude, I
let's
can
go,
do it.
man.
Actually, Gil, the guy who's doing the production, helped me out a lot with it too. I ran all my jokes by him. I need to filter it all down because I have a lot of stand-up material, but I work too much. I don't have time.
Right,
I
right,
don't have
right.
time to get on stage.
Yeah.
Although as much as I'd love to, I don't have time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
That business connection back. You said being on stage connects.
Uh-huh.
And being in the space like that
Yeah,
you've
you got a
helped
point there.
create, you're creating art that's connecting with people. Like you're
Right.
creating a space for people to connect.
Mhm.
You're creating art that connects with people. It all makes sense.
Yeah,
It'll be cool if when that time comes, though, you can get back on stage at some point.
we'll see.
What do you like better, the tap room or the production of the beer?
Well, I like the business itself because, as I'm pretty sure I said earlier, small business is just fascinating. The beauty of small business, if you're paying attention, is you should never be bored. And so I've had very few really
Yep.
boring days in the last 40-some years.
Yeah.
So I kind of look at the tap room and the production side and the wholesale side, and I still go out and do store samplings, as that's all part of the same thing. So I don't really like one better than the other. I mean, I don't.
It was like I just asked you which kid you like better.
Right,
Like,
right,
I get
right.
it. I get it.
Caroline's is me.
Yeah.
Funny enough, people would ask him all the time, well, what's your favorite beer, right?
Uh-huh.
Because, we make a lot of different styles. And for a long time, your response would be, I love all my children. And if I
Yeah.
was in the room and he would say that, I would just kind of perk my head over to be like, excuse me?
Yeah.
But
Your
the
favorite is Winter Storm.
but you also have to look at at everything has got its own pluses and minuses. So I mentioned earlier I still go out and do store samplings from time to time. I probably do 6 or 7 a year.
Yeah.
And I don't have to do those anymore. But
Yeah, like I could go to the liquor store and you'd be the guy.
I'd be the guy back there
Pouring
pouring the
you
samples.
samples.
That'd be awesome.
Right. But I do it for a couple of reasons. First off, it sends a powerful message to the retailer. And I'm usually going to pretty important retailers. Secondly, it sends a powerful message to my wholesaler that, I'm still going out there and getting my fingernails dirty.
Yeah.
Third, and this is really the thing that's probably the most interesting for me, is while I'm standing in that store, I'm watching what they're buying. So I'm getting firsthand market data
Research, yeah.
that you can read all the rags you want, but standing in the store and watching what they're doing makes you go, okay, well, I was thinking this, but maybe not.
Yep.
There's a lesson in that right there.
Well, yeah, I
As a
mean,
business owner.
yeah, I do that a lot too.
Volunteering in all
Going
different
back out in the
levels. Well,
field,
yeah.
and
You got to be
seeing-
close to what's going on.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm
have
sure
to
I
be.
piss a few people off from time to time. It's like, would you just get out of my goddamn bed? But I'm never going to do that. I don't try to be intrusive, but I want to understand because at some point, I may need to make a decision on something at some point, and I don't like making decisions in a vacuum.
Yeah, that's
Right.
solid. That's gold.
Yeah, store
you agree,
samplings
Sisson.
are really helpful because, and I haven't done them since I've been back, but I used to do store samplings a lot when I was here in 2012 to 2019. What I would pay attention to is if someone would approach the door and they, here's loose cannon or whatever, and then another product right next to it, I would see would they pick the loose cannon or would they pick the other product, and I wanted to understand if someone was choosing something else, which product were they choosing over our beer, and then why.
Yep.
What about that product? What's the packaging like? How is that product being messaged?
Would you ever ask them, like, hey, why'd you choose that?
Well, for samplings, it's great because people, if they're willing
Well-
to sample, they'll come up and they'll talk to you. They'll ask you
Yeah.
questions like, what do you have today? And you can ask them questions too.
Yeah.
What beers do you typically like?
Mhm.
And you'll get a variety of answers. Some people will straight up be, I'm not really big of a beer drinker. And then you can still ask them, what kind of flavors do they like? Do you like lighter stuff? Do you like darker stuff? If they are a beer drinker, you can get a little bit more specific. But yeah, it's a great way. You're right in front of your customer to understand, what they like, what they don't like.
Yeah.
Really helpful.
Do you have a favorite? I asked him about the tap room versus production. I feel like you love this space. That
I
we're
do
in.
love this space.
So I don't want to. Yeah. What
Well,
seems?
I'm a marketing person, so this is a space where people can come and experience our brand, and that's really important to me. I want to make sure anyone who comes through this door they're getting the best experience ever, from the beer that they're trying to the service that they get to the vibe. If they're coming with a group of friends or families, like they're staying for a while because they're enjoying the space and hopefully having great conversation. We do a lot of different events here, and I'm pretty much willing to do any kind of event that's appropriate. Nothing.
Well, we have the dog event.
Yeah,
You already have that, right?
No, that's coming up. That's
Okay.
going to be in May.
Yep.
And we partner with a lot of different, charities or other local businesses for like pop-up type events. And it's great. Like the more people that we can come here to experience us, like this is where you're going to get it exclusively. You could go to a restaurant and see our beer on tap, but we're not exclusive there. We're
Yeah.
one of other, 8 or 9
Right.
brands on tap. Or same thing with, festivals or a concert or wherever you're going. This is where you get us exclusively, and you can experience Heavy Seas, in
Yeah.
a very intimate, personal way.
Yeah.
There seems to be something unique about that. Like, I'm trying to think of another example of a business. Like, you have a product that goes out. You said you're in 18 states.
Right.
But you also have home base where people can I guess there's like other food places that you can go and like experience how something's made, but in a lot of small businesses don't have that dynamic of the product that goes out in the home base.
We have, for many, many, many years, breweries in this state couldn't have a tap room. It wasn't legal. You could have a public space, but you had to give all the beer away. And so a lot of places, like, we'd have a little tasting room, and then you go on a brewery tour. And then you could give them a couple of samples at the end of the tour. But, finally being able to make this a commercial venture, which is a buckle-on value added to what we're doing, definitely helps us afford to be able to turn this into a marketing platform for the brand itself. So, that's why, we're going to start working on a lot of the decorative touches. That's part of the reason I bought the damn cannons. Is come see the cannons.
I thought it was just because they were damn cool.
How many times
Well,
can we
they
play
are-
with the cannons?
They are very cool. Come see the cannons.
I don't think a man needs
Yeah.
a reason to buy a cannon when that offer comes available to him. I think you just buy the cannon and then you figure out what you're doing.
Yeah,
Right.
but see, for us, between loose cannon, double cannon, hazy cannon,
made sense.
drop a cannon, come on.
Yeah.
I had to have some cannons.
Yeah. They're got to be everywhere. So
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a good buy.
I agree.
There's this last one.
This is
Oh,
well made.
that's the well-made. We probably should have done that one first. So the well-made lager.
Why? Because it's like 15%?
No. It's very light.
Oh.
It's just a classic lager beer. Because look, we've been making big-ass artisanal beers for years. Sometimes you just want a goddamn beer.
Yeah.
And that's why we made
And
the
there are
well-made.
people that come here all the time and they say, I just want something light. And
Right.
this is the
Oh,
answer
yeah.
for it.
I drink a lot of this in the summer.
I was going to say, this I just cut the grass kind of beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sit on the deck.
Right.
Yeah.
I just cut my grass, and I
Yep.
smell the grass as
Yeah.
soon as I took a sip of that. It's good.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
really
nice,
good.
It's just a nice, solid beer. Just a beer. So,
Just
This is the hazy cannon.
now that is the
Impending Doom.
Impending Doom
Fuzzy
Fuzzy
Navel.
Navel.
Impending,
But
fuzzy.
over there, that's Loose Cannon, which is
This-
our
yeah.
flagship. I'm assuming both of you have tried it.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
many
celebrate double cannon a little bit more than loose cannon just
There you
because
go.
I love the.
You like the big
That's
chewy
what's
ones.
in my refrigerator
Double
right now.
Cannon's great.
Okay, so just keep in mind that is what I call a shoulder brush beer. And this
Okay,
is a term
explain.
you may not be familiar with, but that means that after the fourth one, you reach up to brush something off your shoulder, and it's the floor.
Very fun. I love the
can see it.
cocktails too. The orange crush was very, very good.
Yeah, thank you.
You nailed the cherry limeade because, when you go to Chick-fil-A and you get the cherry on top, it's like one of the canned cherries. Like that.
Right.
You nailed it. It's
Good.
exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, those are out now. So
Yep.
keep an eye out for them. And then obviously we have them here in our tap room. So if you're local, come on by. Give them a
Yeah.
try.
That's what's fun about beer, I think, is like you're drinking something, it's a liquid, but you can pack all these other flavors into it. So when you can put chocolate in something or
Yeah.
coffee, it's just oatmeal. It's such an interesting delivery mechanism
Yeah.
for taste.
And also with IPAs and other really hoppy beers, hop is a plant and there's so many varieties of hops. And so I think people can correlate this well with like wine. Depending on which grape you use in a wine, it's going to really dictate what flavor. And it's the same thing with hops. And hops are grown all over the world at different climates and everything. So, one hop will have a completely different characteristic than another. So depending on the types of hops we use, we can really change and control the flavors and the aromas.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's,
part of
it's
the
all craft.
art and craft.
Art and craft, yes.
In the art and craft.
Just tell there was an accent about to come out. That's so great. That's so great.
So the pirate walks into the bar.
Oh, here we go.
And when he walks into the bar, the bartender notices he has a paper towel draped over his head. He says, "Hey, what's up with that, man?" He says, "I got a bounty on me head."
That's good.
Summer Ultra. Got it. Did a
I'm here all day. Try the view.
I love it.